I want to talk about money. And the reason for this is because I believe that most people think they understand what money is because it seems very obvious. Because we are raised, of course, with money. From children, we understand that money is very important to buy stuff. And everyone wants more money. Everyone is pursuing more money because it will give them an opportunity to be able to do more things and buy more stuff and so on. And in society, we are even, motivated to earn more money because it gives us a certain status, and so we are up in the hierarchy more. The more money we earn, our value is determined on how much money we have, and we show that with the clothes we buy and with the things we show off. So it's a very important thing for us to feel good, and it creates a lot of stress if you are not high up in the hierarchy because you are always looking up and feel less worthy. So anyway, back to the subject. Why is it a subject that is so important for me to talk about? Because I feel that there's a lot of people that don't actually get what it means. And could we let's make a thought experiment. Could we imagine a society without money? Is it possible? Is it stupid? And I don't mean like a society without money in terms of that you would still exchange. Like I don't mean that there would be a society without money, but you would still exchange your work, for example, for some stuff, or you will exchange apples for oranges. Not in this way, but completely removing any kind of exchange. Could we imagine such a society? Well, I understand money in this way. Money is only necessary if there is scarcity. So without scarcity, if there was abundance, money would not be necessary. Let me give you an example. Imagine you were living in an area with a lot of apple trees. There's apple trees when you go out of your house, to the left, to the right. Apples are everywhere. You can just take them. You have easy access to apples. Now you see an old lady. She's close to the road, and she's selling the same apples. Well, there's no need to buy the apples. Maybe you want to give some money to the old lady because you feel sorry for her, but you have no need to buy those apples because apples are abundant. If we take this example and you could apply it to other things, like if you could have abundant vegetables and fruits, again, you would not need to buy them. You would not need money in this case. So let's try to look at it like practically. How could that be implemented in a small city? Let's say the city is with 1,000 people, and you have a supermarket in the middle of the city or somewhere, and now you go into the supermarket and you just take anything you want, what you need. You take it home and you make some food out of it. You go into the supermarket. I want some apples. I want some broccoli. I want this and want that. I take it and bring it home. Well, how would that work? I mean, where would it come from? Who would produce those things? Well, imagine if we could produce it by having, for example, let's say we would have a vertical farm, and this vertical farm would be optimized. And this vertical farm will be running on renewable energy, like solar panels, windmills, thermal maybe. And as you, I don't know if you know what a vertical farm is. It's basically like a building, and on each floor there's a production of fruits and vegetables. And you could even, So this is basically it, and it uses a very small spectrum of light. So it consumes very little energy relatively, and it uses only 5% of the water that is used in conventional farming today. So back to the example, so you have this automated farm, and this is producing automatically food. Now maybe you have some vehicles or some kind of transportation that is optimized, that is taking the vegetables and the fruits and transporting it to the supermarket. Another way of looking at it, it could be that in the vertical farm, you could have the lowest floor could be the supermarket. So the supermarket would be kind of part of the vertical farm. So you go into the store, you take what you need, and each time and production is happening all the time. And so in this way, you can see it could be basically free, because the electricity is coming from the energy of the sun, from the earth, from the wind, and so on. And fruits and vegetables are produced basically without any physical labor. The same logic you could apply to the transportation system inside the city. You could apply the same logic to the production of devices, and so on and so on. So you can see, if we somehow could automate a lot of things around us, and we could create abundance by creating efficiency, there would be no need for money. So you can maybe I don't know if it's true or crazy idea, but you can imagine that's with 1,000 people, a city that is self-sustainable. Is that possible to imagine? If not, then imagine a house. Could you imagine one house that is self-sustainable, having all the things that are kind of the renewables, the having a very small vertical farm close to the house, having all the stuff, water that is recycled and taken from the earth. Could you imagine this? Well, you could scale the same thing up to a city of 1,000 people. I mean, at least I can imagine it. Maybe you can imagine it as well. What do you think? Is it possible? Well, you could take the same thing, the same principle of 1,000 people in one city, and you can now apply it to 100,000 people. You could just like copy paste the whole idea around and create some kind of infrastructure. So I guess this is it. I want you to understand that the main point here is that scarcity creates the need for money. If you don't have scarcity, if you somehow could create abundance, then there will be no need for money. And how can this happen in society? Well, first of all, maybe a universal basic income will be implemented, because more and more jobs will be lost due to technical advancement and optimization. And when we slowly replace the service sector with automation, like for example, you go to a restaurant and it's fully automated. Slowly, when jobs are being lost in this direction, more and more unemployment will happen. A universal basic income will be maybe necessary to keep society going. And with this, with time, there will be more and more free things. Maybe not. Who knows? What do you think? And people will have more time for thinking, and maybe this will result in that they will think like, wait a moment, like, I don't need to work so much anymore. Maybe some of us need to. Like, why don't we make everything free? Like, why do we need this abstraction of money? I don't know if you agree on this and if it's even possible, but I believe in a society where there will be no money in the future, like maybe in 50 years or something. We will come to this eventually. Before that, there will be a lot of transition periods, and maybe one of those will be cryptocurrency that will remove the middlemen like the banks, and this will resolve probably a lot of issues. But you just remember, all of those things are patches to a different type of economy, a different type of society that has a complete different value system. Anyway, I hope you learned something, and please leave a comment if you have a better way of explaining it, or you disagree with some things, or you think it's a good video. I would like to understand money better and how it functions and how it affects our lives, and how to kind of understand what it is. But one thing that I realized over the years, especially when I was listening to a guy called Peter Joseph, is that money is only necessary when there's scarcity. With abundance, no money is needed. That's it. Bye.